morning, everybody. I'm Nick from Building Indiana, and today I'm joined by Dakita L. Jones, the Assistant Vice President of Community Relations at Centier Bank. They're based over here in Merrillville. And one of the things we're going to learn about today is a big trend we've been seeing a lot lately. Employers are taking a very active interest in the financial wellness and the financial health of their employees. And that's kind of a new thing. We didn't see that in years past. So, Dakita, thank you for being here with us today.
It is my pleasure. Thank you so much, Nick.
All right. Well, tell me, why have topics like financial wellness and financial literacy become such big priorities for employers?
You know, Nick, I'm sad to say, and I don't want to have to use COVID so many times today, but that's just the catalyst of a lot of what has gone on. So 64% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck.
Wow.
And 48% of those making 100,000 more a year or more are living paycheck to paycheck. So this is not just a little moderate income type of situation. This is affecting everyone's household. So inflation, of course, has gone up. That means everyone is affected, from daycare to gas prices to food, rent. We all have seen an increase of something that we are doing on our day-to-day. So from that, I'll say if a company wants a happy employee, they must deal with the wholeness of that employee, not just the person who's coming in the doors that day. So they have to deal with the mental, the physical, the emotional, and of course, the financial health. Wow. And the well-being of the employee. And this grants us freedom toward a better quality of life. And the better quality of life for that employee means better success rates, goals, engagement, decision-making of that employee. So I think that's why they have to go that route, because they are having to deal with the totality, which creates the better employee.
Okay. Oh, that's really interesting. So for the companies who have put initiatives in place, what type of employee savings strategies or other strategies seem to get the best results for companies?
Well, I would just definitely say, let's start with the foundation of who we are. So if we can just think about who we are, the foundation of us before we were employees. So think about us having lunch money, having birthday gifts, having Christmas money and things like that. The parent actually directs the foundation of the relationship with who a child is with the relationship with their money. There's a book called 3 Cups, and it talks about giving, spending, and saving. It's by Mark St. Germain, and it grants us a way of direction for our money. That way, the money is not overpowering us. We are directing that money, which is why your budget at the end of the month should be at a 0, because your money has formulated, it's going in in a certain slot. Okay. So, excuse me. And the one thing that I love, Nick, is the fact that I was able, before I became a community relations manager, I was a branch manager for years. I've been with Centier 19, so within the branches for 18 and a half of those years. And I was able to deal with the foundation. So when I say the foundation, those 13 and 16-year-olds, the first time they had the relationship, I was responsible for the relationship that they had. Wow. And the first characteristic that I taught them was discipline. So being able to have discipline with their money, which creates the relationship of that money. And no matter how much you're making, still having the discipline. So if they had little babysitter jobs, I still taught them how to transition it into that $2 you have to save, or a percentage that you have to save. The second characteristic that I taught them about was impulse. So do you need to buy this right now? Can you literally walk away from it? Is that possible? So being able to have the walk away method allows us to say, you know what, I probably didn't need that. And then the last characteristic I taught them was an emergency. So as you get older, the emergencies change, but you can only control what you can control. So our problems don't get easier. The problem solving in it does. So as we're able to study, grow, and develop in money, we're able to make better decisions in money, which again brings us to that quality of life and having a better quality of life. So some things that I will, and I said all of that to say that child, that foundation becomes that same adult, thinking about the pattern that they have as they grow that relationship with their money, okay?
Okay.
So some things that we have been doing as far as what is working for us, we have something called Roundup Savings. So anytime we're swiping our card through our Visa debit card, the change is rounding up to that savings account. So say, for example, you're at Walgreens and it's $12.50. The amount is rounded up to 13. 13 is taken from that debit card, which is from your checking account. And 50 cents is going into that savings account unconsciously. Most of us are using that and swiping that card often. So again, that's a great way that we're saving as employees, and that money is just moving over to that savings account, not even understanding how much it's gonna be at the end of the month. Also, auto debit. So auto debit is when you're paid and your direct deposit comes through that account. Automatically, money is moved over to a savings account so that you won't even have to do that transaction. Of course, you can do manual transactions as well, but that money is just shifted over there. You don't have to worry about it, shifted there or shifted to a 401k or wherever you want it to go. You don't have to really necessarily think about it. And as I said before, again, you are making the money work for you. The money is not overwhelming you, okay?
Okay.
And then also through our digital banking, we have a software called Manage Money, which helps us with our financial goals as well. And also we have something called Billinero, and it's like a link, it's linked to a savings account, and it's more so like a game-like approach to saving money as well. And then we have, of course, the Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, and our health savings account, which is a tax advantage medical savings account as well.
Okay. So when new candidates are coming to companies looking for jobs, from your perspective, or at least from Centier's perspective, are people actively searching for these type of financial wellness offerings?
So what I did do, Nick, was I consulted my HR department because I wanted to make sure the experts were answering this and not just myself. So they are saying that they're caring, Centier cares more about the full well-being, similar to what I said earlier. And that attracts candidates, and that allows candidates to want to retain and do the best that they can in their talents that they have. And they stated, unfortunately, there are employers who do what they do and then go home, and they don't really care about that type of thing. But Centier does care about, again, the well-being. They care about the attraction. They care about what we display as a brand, and actually not just being that as a brand, but becoming that and having that associate to come and be an asset to what we are at Centier. So that's why we want to keep them for a long time. So being able to connect them and align them as with the fit of what they would like to do, whether that's financial health or whatever their issues are going through at that time. We want to connect them to their best, and essentially, hopefully, Centier can pull out the best for them. Okay. And then we also have, again, through COVID, tough times happen. We can never foresee what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen in a year or two. So with that being said, employers are focused. We're focused on helping the employees build a financially strong and secure portfolio platform, so that when those emergencies do happen, you're prepared. Not saying that you won't freak out about it, but at least you can sustain yourself and you can feel a little bit more comfortable that you have an emergency plan, or you have someone you can go to talk this out, or to give you options on what's going on. A lot, especially since COVID, candidates are looking for more now, and they want to work for employees who care about them. So providing financial literacy or support to those candidates is definitely the best factor in keeping them, retaining them, and keeping them happy and engaged. So we focus on that, not just getting them here, but we want them to stay and we want them to be happy being here.
Wow, that is a lot. It sounds like a whole system in place.
It is absolutely a whole system. And if it's okay to add, and I'm just speaking on just that was HR perspective, but even as an employee, I came here, I'm not gonna tell my age, but I was 20 something. And think about that. I mean, you're 20 years old. You don't know what life is going to bring. You work in a bank, you're doing the best that you can with what you have, as a teller. Then I began to get additional degrees and things like that. But even as you get degrees, the money just doesn't happen overnight. You have to maintain that experience and things like that. And then, I had a child, which she's 15 now, but, I had a child. I went to grad school. I became ill at one point in time. All of those things from the opposite side, looking from what Centier did for me was absolutely amazing. They walked with me and they carried me through. So everybody does not have the same story, but again, we're able to customize it and personalize it to whatever that employee needs. So that's from the other side. That's one thing that I love about my job is the fact that, whatever I went through, there were moments that they had to pour in me, instead of me pouring into my job. And for me to be able to walk through that, and still after 19 years to say, I love what I do and I love, my job and I love my bank, that's a lot, from that perspective.
So just one more question really before we say goodbye, but we've touched on several things that Centier does. What are some other things we've missed? Because I know you guys do a lot with education too.
Oh my God, financial literacy is a heavy hitter. Lorenzo Brigham, she oversees that. She is absolutely amazing. We can reach you wherever you are, from your home, through teams, to your church, to your organization. We can meet you wherever you are at whatever you you have. I always see it from kids who are, 1 year old all the way to 99 years old. We are there and we're going to support them. So we have financial wellness topics that we can do, a Centier Youth series, educational resources, the care program dollars in which we can personalize to what an employee needs. We have FDIC presentations, tuition reimbursement, a variety of insurances, employee discount programs, high school graduation incentives, SHRAC scholarship, school activity time off, infertility benefit, adoption benefits, computer loans and entertainment discounts, associate stock ownership, Microsoft Learning, bereavement time, disability, daycare discounts, parental leaves. I mean, it goes on. But one last thing I want to say before we end, Nick, even though we have all of that already in place, Centier is still transitioning into our new purpose statement. We are enriching lives through financial guidance for an even better tomorrow. So even though we might feel like, okay, we're doing the best that we can, there's still more to do. Even with COVID, I think all of us sat down and said, what can we do better? How can we do things better? Do I really love what I do? What is my purpose in life? And that's what we're actually doing right now. We're holding the mirror up to ourselves and we're asking ourselves, what can we do, and taking the time out to do more, because we want banking to be an experience. We don't want, just products to be here. Everyone can have the same products, Nick. Well, we want you to have an experience when you walk through those doors, and we want to begin to educate ourselves on what we can do more. So I challenge you to talk to me in about 6 months and I'll be able to give you the additional things that we are working on and working toward as we enrich the lives of others.
Well, that'd be really cool. I'd be excited to learn what you guys come up with next, because this is a ton.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for being able to work with us as we had to move some things around, but this was absolutely a pleasure.
Well, thank you too, Dakita L. Jones, Assistant Vice President of Community Relations at Centier Bank. We appreciate you very much. Thank you.
My pleasure. Enjoy your day.
You too. Take care.